along the Houston area and points west, and we're looking at areas like Houston itself at 7:53, so it's building westwards very slowly. Bel Air around 8:53, so that's how slow it's going. It's going to take about an hour and 15 minutes to get to places like Bel Air. Granted, it holds together. Bel Air west around 10:18, so that just gives you an instance there. It's crawling, okay? It's nearly stationary, and it's going to be dropping a lot of heavy rain and also bringing a lot of wind. Let's look at the hail threat here, because this is very impressive. Over the last 10 minutes, picking up a rather impressive hail signature on here, and you put up there golf ball or maybe even slightly larger hail here just north of Harrisburg, just off to the west of Jacinto City and Galena Park. This hail core is quite worrisome. So in this area here, again, remember, it is building off towards the west into downtown. A very impressive hail signature here over the Harrisburg area. A closer look of where that might be, some of the largest hail, maybe tennis ball sized. Again, this is radar estimated, so it may be slightly smaller by the time it reaches the ground. Magnolia Park, Clinton Park, right over this area here. We'll put some roadways on here for you to give you a better feel for where it is. Clinton Drive, Navigation Boulevard, possibly could be seeing golf ball size hail in this area right now. Take cover. This is a severe thunderstorm warning for this area of Harris County, of the city of Houston, until 8 o'clock for another 22 minutes. There's the updated for you. It's showing an even larger area north of Navigation Boulevard and Clinton Drive that could be seeing even larger hail. Let's move a little bit farther to the north here and put some more streets on it. Market Street over towards Lathrop Street. Right over to I-10 here, your connector on Market Street here on 90 to I-10. Seeing some very heavy rain. On top of that, embedded some large hail, potentially radar indicated, could be larger than a golf ball size hail in that particular area here. Give you some bearings of where we're looking at here. This is the east side of Houston. You can see those areas there that are painted on that show the areas that I could be seeing some of the strongest hail and also the gustiest winds. Let's check out some of those wind signatures here. I do want to switch it up here though and show you what it looks like from terminal radar, which is the closest we'll be out at Hobby. So some of these radar indicated wind gusts, let's put over Jacinto City. It's only putting out 25, maybe 30 miles per hour. Some stronger gusts could be in there, but I think our main threat, our main concern right now will be for this large hail signature here that is now within the Beltway. Okay? It is within the 610 corridor here. Oates Prairie, Jacinto City, Galena Park. We're looking at a hail core here north of Harrisburg that is getting a little bit more intense. We'll put some more streets on here for you. Clinton Drive. We've been watching you now. Clinton Drive here. Over towards the Lathrop Street. We've got Market Street here as well. There's a closer look in here. We'll get some of these hail core signatures. And again, this could be up to lime or tennis ball size. Radar indicated. Some of this may not be reaching the ground at that size for sure. Here's another look. There's the updated image for you, showing you exactly where that is. The hail could be very large in this particular area. We're looking at the east side of Houston within the 610 corridor there. Live radar does show the cell right there over that area with very frequent lightning. If I take the lightning off, you can kind of see where that hail core would be, and that would be right over this area here with the brightest DBZs, as we call them. The radar signature is so bright, it is picking up on some of that hail. Again, we've got a severe thunderstorm warning for the next 20 minutes until 8 p.m. Main concern looks to be right now, as we're diagnosing the radar imagery coming in, for some large hail, some damaging hail, could be up to golf ball size in this particular area near Galena Park, Magnolia Park area there. Here's a bigger picture of what we're looking at on the east side, Magnolia Park north of there. We could have several different hail signatures. You see in here that purple shading. That's the radar indicating that that could be the largest hail. Not saying it'll reach the ground of that size, but this area is most likely to be seeing some larger hail at the moment. Some streets on here for you. We're looking at the I-10 and where 90 meet. Pretty much at that interchange there is going to be some of the largest hail signatures of this storm as it builds on through the area. I'm going to put on a loop here just over the last 10 minutes so you can see the trajectory of where it is moving. It is pretty much building along 90 and points to the west there. So we'll be impacting areas along the East Freeway into downtown Houston and potentially even holding together there. A lot of times these will cycle. So we'll see if the latest update on this hail signature does prove that it is holding tight and the cell itself is continuing to maintain its strength and its intensity. Here's a loop over the last hour. So this was really a cell that popped up here rather quickly, and it's bringing very frequent lightning and very heavy rain. The risk this evening for storms was quite low, and this is really the only game in town. Larger picture, there's nothing else going on across the area. It is this one singular cell that developed just to the west of Baytown in the last 45 minutes, and it's really blossomed and begun to spread out slowly to the west. Its movement is westward, so retrograding at 5 miles per hour. So we're also going to be looking at here some very heavy rainfall. Some of these totals here, they do lag because this is radar indicated, but some of these numbers on here put up near link 5 could see over 1.5 inches, and this is just within the last hour. So heavy rain, ponding on roadways, gusty winds, frequent lightning, and as we've been talking about too, our main concern looks to be for some large hail potentially in this area to the west of Jacinto City at the 90 and I-10 interchange, pretty much right on top of you there. I want to show you again, if you're just joining us, the areas that could be seeing this. Market Street Road. Here's the East Freeway, okay? And here is 90. Right at the intersection there, we've got Wallaceville Road, Lathrop Street. Moving into it, Lockwood Drive would be up next. Also, Armour Drive, Larimer Street. All of those areas right now could potentially be seeing some very large hail, and it is building west along the East Freeway towards downtown. I want you to get indoors if you're in the sights of this storm. Let's put a storm track on it here for you to let you know where this hail core will be moving within the next hour or so. It is crawling, though, so you do have some good lead time. That is the benefit here. We'll drive this down to the south, push it due westwards into downtown, and Houston itself, you've got a lead time of about a half an hour right in the center of downtown. That looks like an 8:15 arrival time there. Let's stretch it out even farther because this will even give you more of an indication of how slowly this is moving. Out towards Spring Valley and Hunters Creek, you've got over an hour of lead time here in these areas. 901 West University Place, Hunters Creek around 9:30 because it is moving so very slow. Now, likelihood here is that this does fizzle out and diminish before it does make it west of downtown. But right now, where it is really the hot spot is east. The 90 and I-10 East Freeway interchange here looks to be the strongest indication from radar that we could have some large hail building west slowly along I-10. This is a severe thunderstorm warning for this area because of the gusty winds and the hail potential here. Let's see if there's any update from the National Weather Service here. We're seeing radar indicated hail of up to 1 inch. Our radar here indicating that could be slightly higher. Again, it doesn't account for melting as that falls from the cloud base into a very hot and humid, as you know, air mass that's in place. Will lose some of the diameter from melting, but winds up to 60 miles per hour are certainly a potential here, and a loop of this over the last through the Galena Park area and building at 5 miles per hour off towards the west. Something you'll also notice if you're dealing with this storm at the moment is the amount of lightning too. Let's put a number on here, 10-minute tally of this singular cell. 218 strikes just over the last 10 minutes, okay? Very frequent lightning here, and the correlation, the ratio here of negative strikes to positive, very frequent lightning here, and the correlation, the ratio here of negative strikes to positive strikes means when there's more negative strikes, the storm is actually on its intensification phase. So we're not at the point of maturity and collapsing just yet. Strike number continues to drive upwards, and the positive strikes outnumbers the negative strikes by a pretty large ratio there. Again, a loop here over the last 30 minutes shows it's pretty much remaining stationary. Some of the rainfall totals in these areas have seen over 1 inch to 1.5 inches. So this area, a lot of interstates, a lot of roadways, a lot of concrete, meaning that water's got to go someplace. It's going to go into the drainage basins and overwhelm those areas. So we could see some ponding, although brief, on some area roadways. So keep that in mind. Out by Deer Park, that looks to be some of the indications of the most rain so far within the last hour, up and over 1 inch, half an inch there. Right over north of Pasadena, just under 1 inch, about 3/4 of an inch in that particular area at this time. Bigger picture again, I want to show you where this is heading. Over the last hour, it's building to the west at only 5 miles per hour. So it is crawling, and rain is going to be the big problem. Let's get a check on that hail core. All right, so the latest scan does show that the hail core doesn't look as strong. That is some good news here. You can still see it's painting out 1/4 to maybe up to golf ball size, maybe even slightly larger in this particular area. This is, again, right over I-10, and now we're looking at Lockwood Drive, potentially Hirsch Road, and Clinton Drive. This has pretty much been moving westwards along Clinton Drive. So if you live in that area, you know where that street is. This is just east of downtown where we're getting within the 610 corridor. Here is downtown Houston. So we are just off to the east there, and it is building westwards. But there is good news that hail core is looking to weaken just a little bit. I'm going to wrap things up here. I want to send you back over to programming, but let you know that this is building to the west at 5 miles per hour, frequent lightning, very heavy rainfall, and we'll continue to track and see how that hail core pans out. But if you're in this severe thunderstorm warning, again, 13 minutes to go on it until 8 o'clock. Go indoors, seek shelter, and if you can, ahead of the storm, you've got a lot of lead time because it's moving so slowly. Move your cars to a covered garage or inside your garage to keep it safe from any of this hail. We'll join you back here. Current hail signature are these areas here: Riverside Terrace, moving towards Lamar Terrace, and Bel Air. So here's a look at some of the areas. Foster Place, you've got a lead time. It's pretty much right on top of you now. West University Place, 8:17 this evening. You've got a over 15-minute lead time. Southside Place, 8:24, and Bel Air itself just after 8:30. So you've got lead time. I do suggest and advise you, if you live in these areas, to go and move your cars under someplace safe, into an interior garage or under some sort of cover. Remove anything from the outdoors. There is also gusty wind component to this, up to 60 miles per hour. So anything that is outside that is loose and not tied down could become a projectile and a missile that could cause damage itself. But again, our main concern here is going to be for some large hail. Already observed diameter size, 2 inches. That is large enough to dent your car and to put a dent in your windshield as well. Again, it is moving westwards at 10 miles per hour. A little bit of a change of pace here. Usually we see storms moving in with an easterly component or southeasterly component through the area. This is moving pretty much backwards, retrograding from the east side of downtown, pushing towards the west side at 10 miles per hour. So that's our hail signature right there. I tell you what, though, it does look improved from just about 15 minutes ago when we jumped on air to give you the original warning. Here's the hail core. Now it looks to be right on over some of these areas here. I'm going to put some street names on it for you here. We've got Chartreuse Street, Elgin 69 itself, pretty much. We've got Main Street, McGowan Street, Polk Street. All of these areas could potentially be seeing some large hail at this time, as this slug of the largest hail is moving slowly off to the west at 10 miles per hour. On top of that, we've got extremely frequent lightning too. So here's the larger picture of our singular cell that's pretty much only impacting Harris County. The far northern fringe of Brazoria County too is technically under this warning, and a small portion of Fort Bend, but those areas are not experiencing any problems at the moment. Really, the core of this is going to be right over downtown Houston at this time. Here's a look at that hail core again to see if we got any update of our last radar scan. Not much. Still showing the possibility of golf ball sized hail in these areas. Let's get an even closer look here. So if you're watching and joining in now, these streets in downtown: McGowan Street, potentially over to Leland Street, Pease Street, over towards Elgin Street as well. McGowan again. We'll go a little bit farther south to Alabama Street. This is going to be right over 69 and the interchange with 45, the Gulf Freeway, either going north or south. You're going to run into this hail core there. San Jacinto Street as well. It is building in your general direction, pushing off to the west at 10 miles per hour. That's the main threat, but let's get a check on some of these wind speeds too, because that's also a threat with this particular cell in the warning from the National Weather Service, showing some of the strongest winds. In fact, I want to switch it over and give you a better look of that into the storm by switching over to our terminal radar at Bush Airport. This is located a little bit closer, not all that much closer, but a little bit, and that could matter here. Some of these winds are not terribly high, at least estimated from radar. They are coming in below severe criteria, which would be over 55 miles per hour. So the wind component, although gusty at times within this cell, especially in some of the heaviest of the downpours that's pulling the strongest of the winds down to the surface, we're not seeing as terribly high. I think my main concern here for this cell is going to be the potential of some large hail that right now would be impacting portions of the downtown area north of Riverside Terrace and right over the 59 and 45 interchange there in the heart of the downtown area. You can see a little shade of some darker blue there, indicating the potential of some even larger hail from the severe thunderstorm warned cell. Again, this warning is up for another 40 minutes until 8:45. You may be asking yourself, why such a long duration of time? Well, it is crawling. It's only moving at 10 miles per hour. In fact, it's doubled its speed from the previous warning, which was only 5 miles per hour. There's a new scan for you. Some of these streets that may be impacted now: Westheimer itself, West Alabama Street, West Gray Street as well, Vermont Street. A little bit farther down the line could be places like River Oaks Boulevard. Could be seeing the hail moving right over your area anytime. Richmond Avenue as well. And here is 59. In fact, our studios are located right in this area over here, so we're going to be watching this closely. South Shepherd Drive and over towards Buffalo Speedway as well. So this is going to be pushing its way off towards the west at 10 miles per hour. So areas that may be seeing this soon: Lamar Terrace. In fact, I want to put some streets on there for you that tell you if you live in these streets, hail nickel size. Yes, we know that. That's for sure. It's already been confirmed of 2-inch diameter hail in some of these areas. So let's take a look at some of these streets. This is going to be San Felipe Street, Westheimer. We've got Richmond Avenue, and this is as you're getting closer to 610. So Westheimer, as you're heading westbound towards 610. San Felipe, as you head towards 610, this is going to be coming in your direction soon with some large hail potentially. I do advise, if you are in this area, if you're getting the alerts on your phone, if you're watching this now, and you are in this warned area for a severe thunderstorm warning, you do move your vehicle indoors to a safe place so it can shield it from the potential of some large hail that has already been observed from the cell as it's been pushing slowly westwards across the downtown area. You can see plenty of thunder and lightning with this. A number on this over the last 10 minutes. Lightning strikes were down to 196. That's a little bit of a lower number than what we saw a little while ago. That could be an indication that this storm has reached its maturity stage and will begin to collapse. Once that happens, a whole new threat comes onto the table, which would be for some gusty winds. We get the downdraft responsible for gusty winds heading in all directions here as the storm begins to collapse and fall apart. But looks like we may be on the cusp of that. Lots of lightning with this and very heavy rainfall. However, the rainfall that this is picking up as I turn lightning off, you can see that it looks like it's very, very heavy rain towards Lamar Terrace. That's the radar being confused for the very large hail core, which I turn on hail here, and that would be the area in blue, headed towards West University Place, Lamar Terrace, eventually Hunters Creek, and towards the Janetta area. There's an update from radar, a new scan coming in showing the most likely areas that could be seeing some large hail right now. I'm again going to throw some numbers on here for you, sort of some streets. We're looking at 59, 69 here, and then where it meets with 288 in the South Freeway, over towards 45 in the Gulf Freeway, meeting up there. So basically the big intersection of all the interstates and the freeways coming right over this area. So Westheimer Road, looking at West Alabama Street, Richmond Avenue. All of these areas and points to the west will be under the gun here for some large hail in the short amount of time as this drifts to the west, north of 5969 towards Westheimer and eventually towards 610 as well. That's what's on the left side of your screen there. That would be the 610 interchange with 59 Lamar Terrace area. This hail core is building in your direction right now. So again, considerable damage possible with this severe thunderstorm warning issued by the National Weather Service until 8:45 this evening. There's the numbers for you. It's all in Harris County. It does have a sliver of northern portions of Fort Bend, not including Sugar Land, but again, areas really seeing the impacts. Bel Air, north of Riverside Terrace for some large hail, and the potential is there as well for some gusty winds. I'm going to monitor this for you. I'm going to send you back over to programming, and if anything changes, we'll join you back here on air. You can join us on the digital side. We'll continue to track this storm as it moves through downtown Houston. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Hey, good evening, folks. I'm KHOU 11 meteorologist Tim Pandajis. We're just coming off of the TV side to let folks know in and around the Houston metro area of an ongoing severe thunderstorm warning until 8:45. So we've got another 25 minutes on this extremely slow-moving cell that's bringing not only flooding downpours, frequent lightning, but already confirmed and observed large hail as large as 2 inches in diameter. And that's about egg-sized hail causing damage across the metro area. Here's the latest on this warning. Again, covers 2.4 million folks right in the heart of downtown Houston and a good chunk of Harris County as well for another 25 minutes. It is moving only at 10 miles per hour. In fact, I want to get the updated here for you on exactly that storm speed because they tend to update this as the warning is ongoing. Yeah, still a westward movement at 10 miles per hour. I'll read you the hazard statement from the Weather Service saying 2-inch hail and 60 mile per hour gusts. So in some of the heaviest of the downpours, that rain is heavy enough and strong enough to pull down those gusty winds to the surface, bringing that potential for 60 mile per hour winds. But here's a look at the ongoing hail core. This is a big improvement from where it was just about 20 minutes ago. In fact, if we go back the last hour on this and I show you this hail signature, it's quite impressive here. So we go back in time, you can see the blue showing on up, and even for a portion of time as it was to the west of Jacinto City, this is around 7:41, so 40 minutes ago, there was a signature on here for lime to tennis ball sized hail, and there's observed hailstone sizes of 2 inches in diameter, the size of a hen egg. So large hail capable of producing damage, denting your car, breaking your windshield, causing damage to your roof. So keep that in mind. This is moving off towards the west at only 10, so you do have a good amount of lead time on this, which is good. But it is a rather slow mover and still presenting the risk of some hail. Although the signature on this from the radar over the last scan over Lamar Terrace, right over 610 north of Bel Air, this is showing maybe up to nickel or quarter size hail. So that hail signature has really dropped off, which is some good news. Let's talk about some hail, or not the hail, excuse me, some wind. Some gusty winds. Let's see what some of these numbers are picking up here. Radar indicated wind gusts 46 miles per hour north of Hunters Creek, north of I-10 there. Sliding south of Hunters Creek, maybe 30 miles per hour. The Bel Air area, 30, 35, maybe as high as 40 miles per hour. So far, radar indications here are of below severe criteria winds, but certainly enough to take some branches down if they're on the stronger side, maybe getting up towards 50 miles per hour. But again, the biggest hazard here with this cell, which has been ongoing, it's had a history of producing some large hail as it was over the Channelview area, moved pretty much along and west of I-10, moved over downtown, and is now pushing north of Bel Air. Let's put a storm track on this for you because we're basically just tracking this hail core, right? So it's moving to the west at around 10 miles an hour. And if we draw it on here by Spring Valley down to Hunters Creek, Janetta, Westwood Park, and take it due west along I-10 all the way out to Cinco Ranch and almost the Katy area, here are some places and numbers on here. Okay, so if you live, put it over here so you can see it a little bit better. In 4 minutes, you got lead time in Spring Valley that the hail core that's capable of producing some large hail still, although the most recent scan here shows that that may no longer be the case. It's still a possibility. The storm could be cycling as it moves off to the west, building into still an untapped environment. Keep in mind here, this is the only cell that we've been watching all evening. It kind of flared up around like 6:30, 6:45, popped up on the east side, expanded, and then built its way backwards, retrograded to the west, started off at 5 miles per hour, now it's up to 10 miles per hour, so it's still considered a slow-moving storm. The A-Leaf area, 8:55. So that's what I mean here. You got a 30-minute lead time. You got plenty of time to get outside, move your car under cover, move it into the garage, secure outdoor loose items, bring them inside so they don't become airborne if, in fact, some of these gusty winds do verify. But really, it's going to be the hail. Okay, so we'll watch this carefully as it moves off towards the west. Addicts around 9:16. And then Cinco Ranch, Katy, if it holds together, you've got like 90 minutes of lead time there. By 10 o'clock or so, it'll be pushing into your general area along and westward bound on I-10. So here's that hail core right now. These are the areas under a 10 mile per hour forward movement. So it's crawling. Lamar Terrace right now, the Bel Air area, seeing the possibility of the largest hail, even though hail signature here, radar estimated, is a big improvement from where it was just 15, 20 minutes ago when we were producing 2-inch diameter hail, the size of eggs falling from the sky. So where the largest hail potentially is, here's Lamar Terrace. I'm going to paint some roads on here for you. San Felipe Street, Westheimer Road, Chimney Rock. Here we go, Chimney Rock as you drive south and meet up with 59 there. Again, with the intersection of San Felipe, we've got Tanglewood Road, and we've also got South Post Oak Lane right there, and then along this San Felipe Street. So San Felipe Street, you're looking at the strongest signature here from radar, showing us that the area of Westheimer and north of there, again, this is 610 right here. So Westheimer, 610 on Westheimer, 610 from Westheimer to San Felipe Street is going to see the core of some of that, the strongest signals for some large hail currently at this time. Let's see if we're getting any updates here. I believe we are in terms of tweets. Let's see. And by the way, if you're watching this and you see any hail outside, you're taking any pictures, find me on Twitter and send it over to me. I'd love to see if there's a verification and validation of this warning. I know there's already been observed reports of 2-inch diameter hail. All right, here's the scan. This is a good improvement. Let me show you what it looks like here. I just heard a very large rumble of thunder outside our studios here. Again, we're located on Chimney Rock near Westheimer on the west side. So we're right on top of this, pretty much. That hail could be moving right over us. I'm looking at a separate hail signature showing up here on the north side of the storm. By the way, let's get our bearings. Here's a look at the cell we're looking at. In fact, a brand new severe thunderstorm warning issued for the north side of this, okay? Let's put and see where that's located for. This is going to be for northern portions of Harris County, now including the 290 corridor, okay? Cypress to Jersey Village, down into Houston and outbound towards Cypress. We're looking at a 2.2 million people affected warning box here until 9 p.m. So we've got 34 more minutes on here. Let's see what the movement has improved to on here, if it's moving any faster or if it's moving any slower. And by the way, the verbiage on here is staying 60 mile per hour wind, radar indicated, and hail size, radar indicated of 1 inch in diameter. Earlier, the ongoing warning that's still in effect for Harris County, you see south of there, was for considerable damage and observed hail of over 1 inch in size of diameter. In fact, let me go back to that and find it for you. Yeah, considerable damage threat with 60 mile per hour winds that was radar indicated, but hail 2 inch that was observed. So no observed large hail in this most recent severe thunderstorm warning. That's northwestern portions of Harris County, the 290 corridor, okay? Jersey Village, Cypress, until 9 p.m. for you. Let's take a look at this growing hail core that now, new scan, shows the potential of delivering some larger hail out in the Jersey Village area, okay? Along into the southwest of 290. Let's look at some of these streets here. Paint them on here for you so you can get your bearings. Wrong thing. Pull up here. So we got the Northwest Freeway, and then this is pretty much right over FM 529, just north of West Little York Road. This looks to be a building hail signature core here that's potentially quarter size, maybe building up to golf ball sized hail. So we're looking at inch diameter, maybe inch and a quarter in this area south of Satsuma along the Northwest Freeway, southwest of the freeway itself. Here is, what is this that we're pulling up here? Sam Houston Parkway, so the Beltway. Okay, here we go. A new update here shows an even larger hail potential in this spot near Jersey Village along the Northwest Freeway, just to the west of Fairbanks. Now we're up to golf ball-sized hail here, right on top of FM 529 and West Little York Road there, okay? Keep that in mind. So the radar lags behind a little bit, so we just saw the most recent update, meaning that the hail core is getting larger. It's expanding, and also the hail size is growing, now potentially as big as golf ball size. This was not the only hail core we had. The one that was causing all the damage earlier has significantly weakened north of Bel Air. That's the good news. This looks to be a dying concern for us. We're going to go and focus more on what's going on along 290 towards the Roslyn area. In fact, way to the northwest of you there, even northwest of Fairbanks, right over West Little York Road, FM 529 looks to be a growing, really right where you get to Sam Houston and the Beltway and the Tollway right here. You're going to be running into some of the largest hail, potentially up to golf ball sized. And you look at the storm structure itself, and it's almost building northward. So that's in a separate new severe thunderstorm warning until 9. The ongoing other severe thunderstorm warning, which is for the weakening part, the southern flank of this cell, the supercell, is up until 8:45. So another 15 minutes or so on this cell here. Still lots of heavy rain, lots of lightning. In fact, let's look at the lightning tracker on here and give you a feel for how many lightning strikes we're seeing. This is a 10-minute tally, okay? Here you go. Move it over here. 380 strikes in this cell, 10 minutes, okay? Significant number. Also, positive strikes have a larger ratio to negative. That typically is a signal for us when there's more positive strikes than negatives. Positive basically means that the strike is originating from the top of the thunderstorm cloud. Has to travel a farther distance, meaning it's a stronger lightning strike. It's got a larger charge, and that's a signal that the storm itself, the north side especially, is intensifying. So you see 242 positive strikes to 144 negative. Let's take a look and see if we got an update on that hail core. We don't, but it's still showing the golf ball size hail. Again, there's Jersey Village, okay? Here is 290, the Northwest Freeway. In fact, let me pull this up here and see what we got in terms of hail size and in terms of how much rain we could have seen. Some of the gauges out there. Let's see what the thunderstorm is. Cancels. Okay, severe thunderstorm warning canceled for Fort Bend. They're continuing the other severe thunderstorm warning for most of Harris until 8:45. And then on the north side there, still got that severe thunderstorm warning until 9, and that's mainly here for the concern for some large hail. Again, if you're watching this, we're on the digital side right now. We've come down off of TV to allow Fire Country to air, and we'll give you the updates here so you can find us on all our social media platforms. If you're watching this, you got your phone out and you experience some large hail or some damage, and it's safe to do so, go outside, take a picture of it, and tweet me on Twitter or tag me on Facebook, and I'll get some ground verifications here. But again, looks to be just to the west of Jersey Village that we could be seeing some golf ball size hail right on top of FM 529. And this is typically building west. It looks like there's a little bit of a northwest component to this as well. So it's building along and southwest of 290. Okay, so use that as a bearing. If you live in the Jersey Village area and you're northeast of the freeway there, of 290, likely just seeing very heavy rain, maybe some pea-sized hail. You can see the signature here in the gray showing peat and marble size. But really, it's the hail core that's south, I hope I'm saying this correct, Satsuma, along 290 and south of there, FM 529, that looks to be the most likely location that we could be seeing some larger hail. Radar indications here are that it could be over quarter size, maybe as big as a golf ball size, so inch and a quarter in diameter, certainly enough to put some dents potentially in your car if it's still parked outside. So that's what we're looking at here, this particular hail core. This looks to be the more imminent threat because our secondary hail core here that was over the Bel Air area, the one that moved through downtown, there's an update for you. This one here, that is the decaying southern side of the storm, not showing much in the way of hail anymore. Maybe some pea, maybe marble-sized hail in the heaviest of the downpours. That's getting pulled down from the cloud deck. Now we're focused more on what's going on here in the Jersey Village area, really southwest of Jersey Village, okay? Southwest of 290 and the Northwest Freeway. Let's get a closer look. Get rid of that drawing. So this is an updated image, which if I play this out over the last 15 minutes, kind of see it kind of popped out of nowhere. Let's go 30 minutes. So it was coming up along, moved over Fairbanks, possibly produced some hail there, and then has been drifting, moved over Sam Houston Tollway, and then now is southwest of Jersey Village, the core of the largest of the hail potentially. This is a 30-minute loop, okay? Here's a current image. Some street names on here to, if you're in this area: West Little York Road and FM 529. This could possibly be the area seeing the largest hail right now. North Eldridge Parkway, just east of you there. Likely with a lag of radar, it's right on top of you at this moment too. Some large hail potentially. Closer look there. These are the roads we're concerned with right now. This here is the Northwest Freeway, 290. Here's Sam Houston, Beltway 8, okay? Well, I'm standing in front of it. You can see it there. And this is off just to the west of there. So 290 there. Jersey Village, maybe a little bit of some pea-sized hail. Let me move this here so you can see Jersey Village. There's a new update. Notice the area that could be seeing golf ball size hail is expanded a little bit. Hasn't gotten more intense, but the area possibly seeing large hail has gotten a little bit larger. Here's Jersey Village here. Let's see it pop on. There it is. There's Jersey Village. We are now southwest of 290, seeing the potential of some large hail in that particular area. This right now is the only hail signature we have, but we've got plenty of thunder and lightning out there and dual severe thunderstorm warnings. If you look at the larger picture, this has really been it, okay? This started around 6:45. Let's go back 2 hours. And it developed on the east side out of a little tiny cell and then just expanded and kind of drifted west. Still moving west at 10 miles per hour. In fact, let's see the updated numbers on that. No, that's not. It's been canceled. Okay. Cancels. Severe thunderstorm warning. Now we're moving west at 15. So that's a considerable pickup in speed compared to where we were when it first started at 5 miles per hour and it was just crawling. A lot of you experiencing very frequent lightning. Okay, look at this 10-minute tally here. We just checked this about 15 minutes ago, probably less than that actually. About 350 strikes in 10 minutes. A positive strike still outnumbering the negative, meaning that we're probably still on an intensifying stage of this cell, especially this part of the cell. I'm a little more concerned with what's going to be going on here in the Jersey Village area. The southern side here is really starting to weaken, and you can even see the lightning count really diminishing. We've got heavy rain there. Likely that could be a threat for some gusty winds. We'll turn on velocities. And we have a bit of a growing wind field. I think that we're just looking at straight line winds, okay? I don't see a tornadic threat with this, if that's what you're wondering. Some numbers on here. Radar indications, again, we're kind of far out from the radar side at this point, but it's getting close to 40 mile per hour wind gusts right along the leading edge of that cell. So you saw where that is. Let me take the lightning off. You can see that just near Addicks, Bel Air West, just to the east of Mission Bend, still well to the east of Cinco Ranch and Katy. Okay, we've got plenty of time in Katy. This is going to drift in your direction. Katy, you're not currently under any severe thunderstorm warning at this time. It is just to your east. And these two separate severe thunderstorm warnings are up for over roughly 2.5 million people right now. So it's along and pretty much west of I-45 in regards to the Houston metro area. So the threat is past for you on the east side. You dealt with likely some of the largest hail as it initially developed, and it's been drifting ever since towards the west right now at 15 miles per hour. Let's take a look at rain. That's something we haven't really done yet. I want to show you a 3-hour loop here because the 1 hour won't capture everything anymore. So 3-hour tally shows some pretty impressive numbers. South of Galena Park, 1.5 inch. Maybe between 1 and 2 inches. Again, radar indications sometimes aren't very reliable. They tend to lag significantly behind what's actually going on. So some areas could have briefly picked up an inch or two. Probably saw some brief street flooding, street ponding. And then the catch basins were able to catch up with it and move all the water away from the roadways. So that's good. It's picking up the forward speed as well. As I mentioned, it is now moving at 15 miles per hour. Here's an hour loop, so it's covering a little more ground than what it was just earlier. Let's see, any of you, see, we got some tweets in here. I'm not seeing any pictures yet of any hail. Some heavy rain out at Minute Maid Park. PETA quarter-sized hail. Scoot sent that in. PETA quarter-sized hail. Scott, if you're watching this, can you reply to that and tell me where exactly that was? Let's see. Yep, lots of hail and lots of lightning here. All right, let's get a look at the lightning track again. 10-minute tally, still around 350. So we're holding steady on the intensity of this cell with ongoing warnings. One set to expire in 5 minutes at 8:45. That's the one that's let me just draw it in here. That's this one here. This warning is set to expire in 5 minutes. This one off to the north off to the northwest. It goes on for 15 minutes longer after that one expires until 9 o'clock. And that looks to be where we're seeing the largest hail signature. We should have a new update. Yes, we do, and that's a larger, more intense hail signature here. West now of Jersey Village, just due south of Satsuma. Likely some large hail in that area too. Again, I hope I'm saying that town name right. Satsuma. Feel free to tweet at me if I'm not and tell me how to say it right, but that's what I'm saying here. We've got some numbers here. FM 529 still sitting right on you. North Eldridge Parkway, so it's drifted a little bit farther to the west. Here's some numbers. Huffmeister Road, seeing some hail just about to move over you. West Little York Road. And we've also got Jones Road here. And let's get this one, West Road. So again, this is Jersey Village, right here. Jersey Village, just due west, southwest of 290 in the Northwest Freeway, okay? It's probably some hail still right over 290 Jones Road area just to the northwest of Jersey Village. This looks to be the most likely location that's seeing some large hail. You see the legend up here. It's up to golf ball, maybe slightly larger hail. This cell itself, history of producing large hail. Observed hail sizes of 2 inches. That's egg-sized hail. So we may be seeing this play out in this particular hail core at this time. So keep that in mind. Again, that's drifting off to the northwest, really westwards. Let's see if we get an update on the warning. Nothing new yet. Now, we'll stay on here for the next 5 minutes and see what that warning does. That's over Harris. Likely it'll be allowed to expire because we're no longer seeing really a hail signature here. Although between I-10 and south to Alief, Bunker Hill Village, Spring Valley there. Here's I-10. I'll put some numbers on here for you. There's 10. Here's Highway 8, Beltway 8. Piney Point Village, just to your east there. Hunters Creek, just to your west, south of I-10. Maybe a little bit more hail in there too. But really the most significant hail signature we're seeing here is just west of Jersey Village, where potentially golf ball-sized hail is falling from this part of the storm where you're seeing the echo from the radar showing the highest reflectivity. That typically, if we weren't turning on our hail tracker, would be a signal, and especially if we do this. If we put in here a rainfall estimate based on radar, and we get a number that's astronomical like that, that's indicating over 11-inch-an-hour rainfall rates, which is almost physically impossible, that's an indication the radar's confused. See, now it goes up to nearly 12.5 inches. That could be even larger hail. It's indicating a hail core right here. So that's the radar. That's a radar going the roundabout way to see if there's a hail core is not only visually seeing it, but also indicated here by the rainfall rates based on radar data. So I'm sure we got a new update. Not so much on the hail tracker, still showing potential of golf ball sized. Again, this is the concern area. Right over, still over FM 529 North Eldridge Parkway from West Little York Road, pretty much all the way to 290. Okay, this is pretty much right on 290. Let's see what we're getting here. Let's see what we got. Got some tweets coming in here. Hail in Northwest Houston from Kervin Hernandez. Thank you for the report. South Tomball, thunder and lightning. Denise, are you seeing any sorts of hail or any wind in your area right now as you're in South Tomball? I know you guys got hit pretty bad the other night, just 2 nights ago with that gusty wind storm that came on through. Okay, that's the latest there now. But again, watching this hail signature here. Jersey Village west of you, southwest of 290. That's going to be the most likely area that's experiencing some large hail south of Satsuma. Okay, let me see if we got any updates here. So the severe thunderstorm warning for Harris, the first one, has been canceled. Okay, it's been allowed to expire. That'll come up here at 8:45. It'll officially go away. So we'll see that polygon go away, and we'll be left with the one that's to the northwest. That includes Jersey Village up towards Cypress, the 290 corridor down to where it meets 610. Still plenty of heavy lightning and thunder and very heavy rain here to the south. And in fact, we'll watch this area here because this is the remnant of our earlier hail core near Bunker Hill Village, that you could have some small hail mixing in there as well. But really, we have to head up here towards 290 Jersey Village area to possibly see some large hail indicated by radar. I'm not seeing any reports coming in from the Weather Service that they're putting out saying that they're confirming this. So we'll see what happens here. We are getting pretty far away from the radar side. That's also something you got to keep in mind. As we get farther away, so let me turn on the radar here and show you where that is. So it's out in League City. Okay, so now we're shooting at a storm from League City, from the radar site, to that hail core that's, about 40 miles, over 40 miles to the northwest. So you got to remember how a radar works. It's not shooting at a level angle all the way around 360. It's actually shooting out at an elevation to account for, elevation and all that, and just the radar beam and the curvature of the Earth, all that. So when you get out that far from the radar site, it is now telling us that there's hailstones higher up in the cloud base, which may not have come down to the ground yet. So this could also be a reason why we're not seeing any verification of this on the ground yet, because the radar's telling us there's hail. Yeah, there could be hail up in the clouds, but we're not really seeing that. The downdraft has not brought it down yet, maybe. That's a possibility too. So we'll see this as we continue to get some more updates. Okay, there's a new update for you that shows a strengthening of the hail core. But it's interesting too. We've been watching this together. This cell here to the west of Jersey Village, the hail core hasn't moved. There it is. There's a slight tug off to the west. According to the Weather Service, the cell itself is moving at 15 miles per hour. I don't think we're seeing that. But again, just along to the southwest of 290, there could certainly be right over, still we're on FM 529. FM 529 Jackrabbit Road, Attic Satsuma Road, and North Eldridge Parkway. I mean, right southwest of 290 here, that is where that bullseye currently is. And again, it is basically drifting this way. Okay, it's moving that way rather slowly. And especially, I think it's coming in under what they're saying it's moving at. So here we go. So new thunderstorm warning, or they continue the thunderstorm warning, the one that's still up until 9 o'clock. And now they've tagged the thunderstorm damage threat as considerable. Okay, still radar indicated wind up to 60, and still radar indicated hail of up to 1 3/4 inch. Okay, so nothing confirmed yet, but there's certainly the possibility. Most likely area that would see it would be right here. And we're seeing the update from the Weather Service there. Let's see with the update how fast it's moving now. Still moving west at 15. So they're saying the hazard is golf ball size hail and 60 mile per hour wind gusts. That's something we haven't checked on in a little bit. So let's get a look at winds. Okay, we got a little bit of a pocket, a signature here. You see this brighter shading. So you're looking at different colors, right? So from the radar beam here, you're looking at wind, green, coming towards the radar, red going away, okay? And when you start to see some brighter colors, some yellows mixing in there, it's an indication of some very gusty winds. So 50 mile per hour winds north of Attucks there. And this is going to be on Highway 6. Right along Highway 6, we could be having some wind gusts there. North of I-10, along Highway 6, north of Attucks, still considerably to the east of Katy. You see Katy out there. Not seeing much impacts just yet. So here's Katy. Here's where the potential is of 50 mile per hour winds. There's Jersey Village. And here, pretty much, is our hail core, which as I switch this up, there's our hail core, which is still dominant. So that's the primary threat. Secondary threat, gusty winds, it's probably associated right with it, to be honest with you. It's probably the hail signature seems to fall behind sometimes on its updates on radar of where it actually is located. So it could certainly actually be set up over this area that we're seeing some of the strongest winds. This could be associated with the downdraft that's delivering the hail and some gusty winds. Again, here's Highway 6. Can you see that little 6 I'm drawing on? Yes, you can. Here's Highway 6. Here's I-10. Here's Attucks right there. It went away on the map, but I'll circle it. Attucks right here. Katy right here. Generally, This is all moving to the west at 15. Okay? This is going to be the area right over Highway 6 now, maybe a little farther to the northeast, of the strongest hail signature and the gustiest winds at this moment, according to radar. Here's the hail signature. See it again. Jersey Village, you very well could be seeing some hail, especially on the west side of town. But most areas likely seeing very heavy rain, maybe some hailstones mixing on in. Best chance of large hail still is going to be over FM 529. This has been getting hit this whole time. West Little York Road. It looks like there's some subdivision roads here off of West Little York. Let me get a closer look. Maybe some shoot-offs here. Here we go. So we've got some small Parkborough Drive, Concord Bridges Drive. Any of those sound familiar? Log Cradle Drive off of FM 529, and then you shoot off of there of Jackrabbit Road, Huffmeister Road. All of these areas likely seeing some large hail. 290 right there. Get your bearings. So this is Jersey Village area, 290. We are northwest of town, north of I-10, just southwest of 290. That is the biggest hail signature we have at this time, as we're tracking severe thunderstorm warnings ongoing in this area for another 10 minutes until 9 p.m. Let's see. We're getting a report here. Let's read what this says. Hail up to 2 inches west of Jersey Village from a spotter. Not confirmed, but hail up to 2 inches proportionately there. Showing strong indication of hail once again. Watching closely in case we need to upgrade. Okay. So this part of the storm cell has now taken over as the dominant northwest sector of this. So earlier, south of here, this part of the storm was dominant and producing a lot of hail, a lot of gusty winds. Now it's shifted over here. Now we're in between 290 and I-10. So southwest of 290, north of I-10 is looking to be that signature of the greatest possibility of seeing some large hail. In fact, the reflectivity coming back to radar is even larger than it was. Remember that little trick I showed you? Let's see what that shows now, right near Highway 6. So look at how extraordinarily ridiculous that number is. 31.68 inches per hour. The radar thinks the rain is falling at, okay? Almost 3 feet of rain falling in an hour, okay? So that's not happening. It's the radar thinking that there's heavy rain, but it's confusing. The radar beam is coming back as a large hailstone that they think is a large raindrop. It's not. It's tricking the radar beam. It's running into an ice crystal instead of a liquid raindrop. So that is a signature right there that we've got some hail. And the hail tool here does verify that. And now it looks like we do have ground observations that there is, in fact, 2-inch hail. Here we go. They corrected the severe thunderstorm warning that's still ongoing for 8 more minutes as considerable damage threat, and there's now observed hail of up to 2 inches. Okay? Let's see what's going on here. Got any more tweets? Greg Liu, thanks for chiming in, Greg. Friend southwest of Jersey Village said he got marble-sized hail, but says it's passed now. Thank you. Thanks, Greg. I appreciate that. Denise says no significant wind, mainly just thunder and lightning, no rain yet, 249 and spring cypress. Thank you, Denise. Let's see who else we got in here. Again, if you're watching this and you're experiencing any hail, we've got observed 2-inch hail southwest of Jersey Village in this core that we're honed in on here. So again, on just to the west of Highway 6, north of Attucks, north of I-10. If you're in that area and you're experiencing gusty winds, maybe some hail, you're hearing it pinging on your house, and it's safe to do so, grab a picture and tag me on Twitter. I'd like to see what's going on there. You guys can be our eyes and ears out there, you know. We can't be everywhere, obviously. And we're in here in the studio tracking this for you, and you can give us the ground truth on what exactly is happening in your neighborhoods. We really value that. All right, here's a look at some places here. We're at Highway 6. Okay, here's our hail core. Right here, where radar is indicating that there's the potential of dual lobes of maybe tennis ball size. Likely it's not that big. 2-inch size diameter, maybe getting golf ball to line, maybe egg-sized hail. This is probably a little bit high because we are also shooting the beam pretty high out, as we just talked about, and you have to account for melting. It's falling, several thousand feet in a very warm, humid atmosphere, so there's melting going on. And it's being driven downwards to the ground by some rain as well, so that could melt the ice, the hailstone as well. Here's your bearings. Again, it's only drifted slowly away from Jersey Village. And as we heard from, let me find out, I think it was you, Greg, that, yes, it was Greg Liu, who said his friend southwest of Jersey Village, which is right over here, experienced marble-sized hail so far here. And it's moved away now. So maybe in this general area. So now we're outside of that hail core. It has moved away, he said. So that's verified here. So now it's drifting towards Highway 6. So if you live north of I-10, north of Addix and Barker, between I-10 and 290, along Highway 6, this hail core is drifting pretty much right over you. I'm going to put some more streets on here for you. Clay Road, West Little York Road again, Keith Harrow Road, an extension of Clay Road, and Queenston Boulevard. All likely seeing some hail. Addix, Satsuma Road, maybe up north here, still FM 529, seeing some problems there with some potentially large hail. We're going to stay with this for 5 more minutes until we see what they do with the warning. Let's see, we got another report west of Jersey Village. Hail of quarter size, which is inch in diameter. Numerous reports of hail just west of Jersey Village, which verifies this hail core that we're seeing. We are southwest of Jersey Village. If you're watching and you're wondering what else is going on, let's see. This is the only severe thunderstorm warning. We've got a few more cells popping up in eastern Harris County, but remember, this part of the atmosphere has now been worked over, just south of there, really. So we'll watch these as they try to build their way west as well. We are also now past sunset, so daytime heating is diminishing. The energy in the atmosphere is becoming depleted. The storm will likely use up a good chunk of what's in the vicinity. So we'll see these storms here. Remember, we had a 20% chance of some storms, best chance east of downtown, and they developed east of downtown, but they drifted a little farther west than expected, and may have impacted some of your afternoon, evening plans here, as we're now getting close to the 9 o'clock hour. 4 more minutes left on this warning here. Here's the latest on that. Till 9 p.m. for northwestern Harris County, 290 corridor, Cypress to Jersey Village, to the 610 corridor and points southwest of there, pretty much. My main concern, though, is for what's going on from Jersey Village, southwest of there, north of Addix, north of I-10. That's where we've been seeing the largest hail signature. And, in fact, check this out. Out by Cypress, latest scan shows another one out by you. So it's almost like it's building northwest along 290. We're seeing more and more of the storm flaring on up northwest on 290. So Cypress area, things are getting loud for you now. Here's a look at lightning. Last 10 minutes has come down a little bit. Remember last time we checked it was around 350. Now we're hovering at 315-ish. Still a substantially higher number of positive strikes to negative. Meaning they're coming from the higher tops, the tallest part of the cloud to the ground, traveling a farther distance. We should be getting an update here on if they're going to continue the warning or let it expire. I'm guessing since we do have ongoing hail signatures, they will extend it. Let's see if you guys are on Twitter here. Anybody chiming in? Jim says, marble size hail at 529 near Queenstown. Thank you, Jim. Appreciate it. Appreciate the picture. Glenn, rain, hail, and lightning. Just lost power 529 in Glen Chase. We got a video from you, Glenn. Thank you. Okay. Again, if you're on right now, here we go. We got some more. Jim again sent with it in his hand. Interesting. Thank you, Jim. I'm going to retweet that so you guys can all see this too. We've got a great show here from Marcus Trevino of the storm coming on in over parts of Houston earlier. Great shot, Marcus. Great shot. All right, here's an update. This is some good news. Look at that. That's an update of our hail core, completely, not completely, but rapidly diminishing. That's good news. That's good news there. Still have got a hail signature, obviously, up to nickel size, but the damage threat right now looks like it's going down. That's good. Still very electrified storm. Here's a brand new severe thunderstorm warning. Here are the numbers on that. As we hit 9 o'clock, I'm going to leave you, and we'll leave the radar running on our social media site so you can see what's happening here. But an ongoing severe thunderstorm warning. Again, this is extended a little bit farther to the west now, and is a little bit larger, too, than what we've seen. So this is for Fort Bend, Harris, Montgomery, and Waller. 100,000 people under this new warning. Let's see what the speed movement on this is for you. Severe thunderstorm warning. We're back to moving at 10 miles per hour to the west. So what's currently along 290 from Cypress down to the west of Jersey Village, north of Attucks, is drifting off to the west. Before I leave you, I'm going to turn this off, and I'm going to put a storm track on this so you can get a feel for when it's going to be heading your way, if it holds together. Remember that. Now we're past sunset, so we're losing the energy. So we've got 10. Let's put a storm track due west. Put it all the way out here to Sealy. So here's a look at some of the cities and towns and the projected arrival time of the leading edge, the western, the westernmost edge. Katy area, 9:41. Looks like we'll be having that arrive in your area if it holds together. Weston Lakes, almost 11 o'clock. So that's how slow it's moving here. And it's been pretty much moving this slow all evening long, which you would think would deliver a pretty good flooding threat, but we have not seen any flood advisories or any flood warnings. So that's good. We're able to absorb this rainfall. Drainage basins are performing properly. Let's get another check on the hail. That one southwest of Jersey Village is really, really diminished. Marble or nickel sized. But the one over Cypress, or southwest of Cypress, again, farther northwest on 290, the Cypress area, you could be seeing some hail here. Fry Road, over to North Bridge Lake Parkway, that could be your neck of the woods, seeing some maybe nickel or quarter-sized hail. So quarter size is up to an inch in diameter. Okay, so the warning that was just dropped, the new one, I should say, was for observed 2-inch hail. But that was also issued right at the time we had a large hail signature there. Since then, in the last 2 minutes, it's gone down a bit. Here's a new storm report. Several trees reported down between Cavalcade Street and 610 North in Harris County. Let's do that one more time. Let's look at a wind threat. So now that we could be at the stage where the storm is collapsing and throwing out some straight line winds, which I am seeing a little bit of a signature of that. This would be this one I'm talking about. This elongated stretch of brighter signatures on our velocity tool. All this is doing is detecting the movement and speed and direction of wind particles, of air particles. And so this is the red shading means that we're moving away from the radar site, which you just saw shooting up from League City. So some numbers on these winds. Let's get a little bit closer here. I do see some pockets of orange in there, north of Attucks, maybe up to 45 miles per hour, 28 miles per hour. So keep in mind, these areas, although we're now a little bit farther southwest, these are the same areas that got clocked pretty good. Well, this area got clocked good 2 weeks ago with a lot of tree damage and power outages. And just 2 nights ago, the strongest of the winds were a little farther to your north and east, but still some gusty winds through there. In fact, that now reminds me, let me check on power outages. Let's do that. Power outages. And keep in mind, we still do have a considerable amount of people out from 2 nights ago. But it's showing Harris County with 26,000, and Montgomery County with 4,000. Montgomery County is from 2 days ago storm. So all the Harris ones, maybe half of those are original, and then there's a good bit more that have maybe been added to that. All right, let's check in with you guys on social media. What are you seeing on Twitter? Let's see. We've got some folks coming in here. There's Marcus's shot. All right, things are quieting down there. All right, guys, I think we're going to go ahead and get ready for the 10 o'clock news. You can join me on the TV side at 10 o'clock. We'll have an update on this. Things should be quieting down, but again, this warning here that's up. Let's see it pop up. Until 9:45. Okay, so another 40 minutes or so. Trend is that it looks to be starting to maybe weaken a little bit, maybe focusing a little bit more towards the Cypress area. That's the remainder of our hail core. So we'll watch that. Could still be some potential of some large hail, so keep that in mind. But that's the latest. Thanks for sticking around. We've been on here for a while now. I'm glad you tuned to us to keep you safe in this. This was kind of a little bit unexpected with a 20% storm chance today. Developed on the east side of downtown and then rolled right on through, impacting over 3 million people. So thanks for tuning on in. Again, we'll have the latest for you coming up on KHOU 11 News at 10. Be sure to like and follow all of our social media pages just in case we need to pop on here again. Before then, hopefully not, but I will see you at 10.